Dasaba, Antere, Anulla. Morning, afternoon, and evening to you all, depending on what time you're listening to this recording. I am going to share with those of you called to remember tradition with nature, spirit, and the ancestors as our guide, some of what I have learned within my community. I want to preface that this is a reminder that I was not raised in my birthright, and I was not taught my rites of passages specific to my medicine. As a woman born in the diaspora, I do not know the exact terminology and translations that are rooted from the cosmos and the continent. I am doing my best with what I have researched and studied thus far, and I will always be open to correction from our elders as I progress along my spiritual path. A few of the types of medicines also referred to as our gifts of an ancestral calling that can be realized within a spiritual awakening would be the diviners, healers, shamans, seers, and beyond. The following is how one would become aware of their medicine. Via a divination. A divination has different names in different traditions. I study the Dagomba tradition of Tamale Ghana. A divination is when a diviner, spiritual elder, chief, priest, priestess can communicate with your ancestors and spiritual bloodline to tell you about your purpose in this lifetime and how to use it. They identify all the blockages you experience and how they know things you have never told anyone before because your ancestors and spirit guides are speaking through the diviner. They answer all questions within the time allotted and within what your ancestors want to share with you, as not to overwhelm you. And in the end, the diviner gives you what is translated as a prescription, which entails guidelines and assistance to begin healing and restoration in your life. Remember, the difference between a reading and a divination is that a reading can see into some aspects of yourself. However, the reader is incapable of giving you a tangible resolution that can bring healing in your life from the roots of your challenges that permeate throughout your entire bloodline. An empath, clairsentient, is a person who has the ability to understand the emotional state of another individual. There are many different types of empaths and many levels of gifts and abilities. Empaths are individuals that can be hard to relate to, but have shared emotion responses with others. They read into body language and special inflections, gleaning more information than the average person would gloss over. In the modern world, apathy and sympathy reign supreme, as the average person tries to be selective in the information they focus on. We all have the biological hardware to feel what another person feels, but we have to be open to the experience. The acknowledgement of the feelings of others requires a special sort of honesty within ourselves. Not everyone has developed a sense of empathy. Those that do have a place in society as empaths. Channeling is a person's body being taken over by a spirit for the purpose of communication and has been around for millennia. There are countless stories of shaman, prophets, and others who hear voices or receive some knowledge from the spirit world. Channelers, also sometimes known as psychic mediums, often use what are called spirit guides, friendly spirits, who give them knowledge and help them on their spiritual journeys. Clairaudience is the capability of receiving an intuitive vocal message from the world of spirits or a higher being. Clairaudient people can extend their hearing to transcend the everyday physical world and the known level of awareness in order to reach the world beyond. Clairaudients are highly intuitive people who are able to listen to a voice other than their own within the spirit world, which is transmitting a message to them. The message might include particular words, names, or phrases, unintelligible sounds, or music. The voice sometimes sounds extremely different from the voices we normally hear. It may sound as if it's being spoken right next to you, inside your head, or even echoing as if from another dimension. It also might sound like one of your loved ones who has passed away. The voice may make itself heard at times of a crisis, an emergency, a crossroads, or at another significant time. Clairaudient dreams are also known phenomenon where a person may hear the voice of a spirit during their sleep. Clairvoyance, or a precognitive, is having or giving foreknowledge of an event. Clairvoyant is having or exhibiting an ability to perceive events in the future or beyond normal, everyday sensory contact. In other words, clairseeing. Knowledge of information not necessarily known to any other person, not obtained by ordinary channels of perceiving or reasoning, thus a form of extrasensory perception, ESP. Spiritualists also use the term to mean seeing or hearing. Clairaudience, the spirits of the dead that are said to surround the living. Psychometry is the ability to discover facts about an event or person by touching what the West would refer to as an inanimate object, which would be associated with that person. Divination of facts concerning an object or its owner through contact with or proximity to this object is another form of psychometry. Psychokinesis, or telekinesis, is the psychic ability allowing a person to influence a physical system without physical interaction. The ability to move or otherwise influence objects through mental concentration. The power to move, manipulate, or otherwise interact with objects, matter with one's mind. Scrying or remote viewing, also known by various names such as seeing or peeping, is a practice of looking into a medium detecting significant messages or visions. Spiritual surveillance. Remote viewing is using spirit as opposed to technology. You send your mind across space and dimensions, forming into a quasirial viewpoint, from which you can see and hear at any distance from you, even if planar boundaries separate you. Telepathy is the communication of thoughts or ideas by means other than the known senses, a way of communicating thoughts directly from one person's mind to another person's mind without using words or signals. The ability to know what is in someone else's mind or to communicate with someone mentally without using words or other physical signals. Aura reading. When someone references an aura, they're talking about the unseen spiritual energy field that surrounds all living things. Anything alive has an aura. The different colors of your aura provide insight into your emotional and spiritual well-being. It's not always possible to see aura colors with the naked eye. We can usually feel them. Think about how certain people give off a super warm and friendly vibe or a really negative energy, even before they say a word. That's the aura at work. Astral projection is a conscious attempt to experience being outside of one's physical human body, while being both alive and preferably awake at the same time. The astral plane, however, can be likened to the Akasha, namely a place where all the thoughts, memories, fantasies, and dreams of everyone in the world exist as Akashic records. The astral plane is thought to be a fantastic place to travel in, with many different travelers, entities, and levels to it. It is said to operate at a much higher frequency than the physical plane we inhabit. And these are just some of the gifts that nature has given us. For those of you that follow the updates of this channel, you should already be familiar with what I have mentioned here. If not, then I invite you to check the links posted under the community tab, as well as the links in the description of this video, and view the playlist entitled Your Medicine that is currently featured on the homepage. I thank you for being here. Nauni Nitibiao. And remember, embrace your nature. It has the roots to restore you. Ashe.